and welcome to my video, my knitting video for August 2024. This month you see it a little later than the end of the month because I had some issues with editing it, so this is actually my second attempt. But yeah, never mind, things happen. We're here now, and I'm standing here with Dolly. Dolly is my friend who models for me sometimes, and we're actually wearing the same thing today, or two samples of the same pattern. You've seen it before, maybe on my Instagram or in my previous videos when this one was still in progress. It's my pattern and it's called Aneta. The testing is officially finished, but it will require, the pattern will require some work on my part before it can be published. It has to be like, yeah, prepared, you know. I need to take all the pictures, I need to do all the post-processing for that, and I have actually started a new job as well, so I think I maybe won't have enough time to work on the pattern and meet the deadline that I had set for myself. If you were looking forward to the release of this one, you will actually have to wait a little bit longer, I think. The pattern is the same, of course in a different color, but also in a different size, and with a slightly different shaping, because the whole thing with this pattern is the whole idea behind it is that it does have sizes, but it also has different shaping options for people to be able to make it the way they want it. So if you've had enough of this, if you've heard me talk about it like too much, feel free to skip ahead. I just want to quickly show you this sleeve, or it's this what's this called again? It's not a sleeve because there's no sleeve, but this is the sleeve opening, right? That you see is quite wide on this vest. And it can be customized in terms of the fit you want to get around the waist. So you see here it slopes down quite a lot. And I think in the final pattern it will be possible to make it taper even more. So this is a flattering, feminine shaping. Thank you, Dolly. The one I'm wearing is a more boxy shape. Let me move her so I can show you better. So there is some shaping here, but a lot less, like a lot less. So what happens is that I get more room here around my bust and also around my waist. It fits differently even if it's the same pattern. The nice thing about this pattern is, I think, the shoulder detail here, the leaf lace that goes down the arm, and depending on how many repetitions you choose to make here, you will get it lower on your arm, and you will also get it more roomy around your bust. That's why you might want to decrease at the sides to make it fit you better in the lower part of the bust. The yarn I used is Malabrigo RIOS. It's a fantastic yarn. You can see all the shades. I think the camera is picking it up nicely. So this looks, at least now in my camera, it looks like the real color. Yeah, maybe so a little bit more. Trying to play around with the light, but yeah, it's a mix of a grayish lavender color and a yellow mustard color, and this one is more in the tones of blue and denim and a little gray, but some of my testers have used this yarn as well, and I'm thinking now of a fantastic pink that was brilliant. Yeah, it comes in a lot of beautiful shades. I worked it on 3.5 millimeter needles, but I know that other people had to use a different size to get gauge, as it always is. But yeah, with this yarn in particular, it's very elastic, so it gives a lot when you block it. But yeah, it's very regular, as you can see. It's a great yarn. The stitches are so regular, it almost looks like it's machine knit. All right, more details to come. I'm thinking now, when this is ready, I might make a video where I explain everything about the pattern. But yeah, of course, only if my viewers are interested in it, so please let me know if you would like that. Because it's a warm day, I will now get changed out of this and into something lighter to talk about the rest of my finished objects and works in projects and blah blah blah. Here I am back again. So the goal I had for this month of August was 3 finished objects. The Aneta I just showed you, a pair of socks, and a bandana kind of scarf. And I was really quick knitting them up in the first 2 weeks of the month. And these are the socks. They are cotton socks. They aren't blocked yet, so I'm not even sure if they need blocking. If you have advice on this, please let me know, because it's the first time I made cotton socks. I was quite happy with the yarn I used. It's this one. It's not 100% cotton, of course. Like most sock yarns, it has like 28% of artificial fibers. No, not 28. Yes, 28% of artificial fibers. But this makes sure that it's nice and elastic. So both working with it and wearing the socks that I actually tried on, yeah, makes sure that it's elastic enough for a pair of socks. And you know, it looks a bit loose here at the cuff, but in the worst case I can always put an elastic thread through it. The pattern is it's a free pattern, and of course I will put the link below. It's called Chevron block socks. And unfortunately, because I'm not so organized and I never scripted these videos, I can't remember the name of the designer now, but yeah, everything will be written over the video and also in the description below. It's a very simple pattern. You can find this everywhere online. Yeah, it's eyelets that are matched by this double decrease, so it's knitted together an SSK that create this band here, and it also has knits and purls on the sides, so this is actually where the ankle is. Yeah, it's very pretty and very easy to memorize. So all in all, a relaxing, mindful knit. I really recommend it. It has a gusset and this slipped stitch heel. It's the first time I made this. I normally knit socks without a pattern. I just know how to do it and I just go for it. And normally I do mock short row heel for my socks. So this was the first time, and it was fun to knit, and it fits very nicely, so I might reproduce it in the future as well. I think the toe is also nice. It's round, nice and rounded, with, I didn't get too much of these ears that you sometimes get here, that you can easily avoid increasing. Well, I normally knit toe up, So what I do is increase every round for the first like 5 or 6 rounds, and that helps you flatten it here. And I think this was the same decrease pattern, of course the other way around, because this is cuff down. So yeah, 2 new things for me with these socks: knitting from the top to the toe, and the heel, and yeah, it was easy and rewarding, and I wouldn't mind making more of these ones because they are lacy but not too lacy, and yeah, they were also nice and quick because again the lace is so easy to memorize. The other thing I want to say is that I modified the original pattern. The original pattern had 2 colors, that's why it's called a chevron block, I think, and the contrasting color sections were purled instead of, this is all knitted. It had horizontal stripes where the pattern is reproduced exactly, but in reverse stockinette. I didn't like that because I don't think it made sense with one color, not so much. I didn't want to purl. I think the cat is here. I didn't want to purl as much, and yeah, I just skipped it. So the repeat is, I think, 16 rows, of which 10 knitted and 6 purled, and I knitted 16, and that was it. Easy peasy. Okay, second finished object for this month, and the third finished object is this bandana. It's a little bigger than a bandana, which is what I expected. I wanted it this way because I don't think I can wear a very small piece like a bandana. This one is a little bigger. So yeah, it will fit very nicely under my gray coat that has a V-neck, but it can also be worn in other ways. To get the little knot here at the front, if you wanted to. So I think I will use it a lot in the early autumn. Here it can get wet and a bit cold. I'm based in the Netherlands, so it's not the work. Today is a work day. I mean, we're having work days now, but it's not the hottest country, right? So yeah, this would be a useful piece. The pattern is an Italian bandana by Francesca. Her name is An Italian Knitter. Everything will be there. It's also a free pattern, so check it out if you like it. It's all garter stitch, so another like mindless project. It's very easy. You need to only count like 10 rows between one row of eyelets and the other. 9 or 10, I don't remember, but again, it's very easy. You only need to keep in mind where you need to increase, but it's really an easy peasy piece. I knitted it with an old yarn that was in my stash. It's cool wool lace by Lana Grossa, but it's a discontinued colorway, and it's 2 strands held together. So as you can see, they blended quite well. I started with the gray, and I was lucky enough to get a nice shading here, so going through the lighter lavender and then towards the purple, and then lighter lavender again and gray, and then I got these other stripes. I wasn't completely happy with it at the beginning because these other stripes blends not as nicely as the bigger stripe. Yeah, I took my risks choosing to use this kind of yarn, so yeah, I have to be happy with it. I don't like it any less because of this. I will wear it, I will use it a lot, and it's a very pretty piece. And that was my third finished object for the month of August. So mid-month, around the 15th or the 16th, I suddenly realized that I was going out of works in progresses, and that gave me like a kind of anxiety, like what do I do now? So I dug into my stash. I wanted to I really like to knit from my stash, to use something that I already have rather than buying something new. There is a pleasure in that, right? There is, yeah. I am, of course, like most of us, very happy to buy new yarn, to acquire new yarn, as you will see later. But yeah, also putting to good use something that you already have is very nice. So I found another pair of socks that I had started like last year, more than 1 year ago, I think. But somehow they didn't work out. And I have already started them and left them and frogged them and tried again a few times. This is what I got now, but this time I think they will be declared abandoned. I will abandon them and not pick them up again for reasons that I'm going to explain. So the first time I started making them, I tried to make front and back differently, like here, but on the front I had two color, because I have two colors, right? So I wanted a two color pattern, but the way it was constructed created a tension difference between the front and the back. So by the time I got here, I realized there was no way I could make them even with blocking. The sole was so much longer than the instep that I thought, this is just not going to work. I have to frog it. I frogged it. I tried something else. It was like slanting. It was knits and pearls that created diagonal lines, but somehow I didn't like it. You know, those projects that just don't work, you don't like them, and I'm very happy to frog or abandon those projects. I don't want to waste my time knitting something that I know I will not wear, that I know will just not work for me. My time is too precious. I want to knit the things that I like. But this time, you know, I thought, I don't have anything else. It's been a long time. Maybe this time it will work out. I thought I will do something simple and easy, so I'm reasonably sure it works out. And I was going to make the sole with just knitted stripes and the front with these pearl stripes. And I quite like the way, you know, when you change color, it creates an additional little line here. So all of this was quite nice, but I soon realized that the toe, so this yellow part, was too big. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. Like I said, I have my method for knitting socks. It works 100%. So there really was no reason why this toe had to look so big. So I blocked it, I thought, because I never swatch for socks. So I thought I will block it, see if after blocking it fits me better. It didn't change much, and it was still too big. So I had to frog part of the toe, part of what I had already done, and I started again. When I started again, I realized that I got a lot of leathering. Here, you see all these irregular stitches, and here in the stockinette part as well. Too many irregular stitches for my taste. Again, maybe blocking fixes it, but by the time I got to this point, I was so annoyed that I thought, enough, I have to find something else. So like I said, I normally I frog if necessary. I'm not scared of frogging. I embrace my mistakes, and sometimes projects do fail. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. The reason why I'm so disappointed with these little socks is that I have chosen this yarn with very high expectations, and the reason is that this is completely natural. It's I hope you can see it. It's 70% wool and 30% nettle fibers. So I thought, finally, a sock yarn that doesn't have any artificial fibers in it. And how lovely is that? I love natural fibers. I always try to work with wool or 100% cotton, only natural fibers. Part for sustainability and part because I prefer to have those on my skin. So when I bought the yarn, I thought it was a little coarse to the touch, and that's something I don't like in a yarn. But I don't wanted this to prevent me from trying. I chose these two colors that I'm not that sure about them together at the moment, but at the time I really liked them, so I said let's give it a go. But honestly, this is completely non-elastic, so for socks it's probably not the best choice. I wonder if I should maybe buy more of this and try to make something else with it. I don't think at least it's not the yarn that is giving me the kind of socks that I like. Nice and elastic and fitting and easy to make. So yeah, the disappointment comes from this, not from the fact that I failed at these socks, but from the high expectations I had of the yarn. I thought I finally found a yarn that was 100% natural fibers, but it was not satisfactory. I am stubborn, however, so I picked up another pair of socks because I really wanted to wear socks, and here they are. This is also a sock yarn. It's a heavier sock yarn and it's 100% wool. It doesn't contain any artificial fibers, and the label is stapled to my folder, so I will have to show it like this. The brand is Walk Collection and it's 100% merino wool. It's called Cottage Merino. The recommended needle size is a little bigger than what I am using to make this, and the fabric is quite dense, but I don't think it hurts. You know, in the case of socks, it's good to have some structure. I have to say I am getting some irregular stitches here as well, but not so much that will not be fixing with blocking. It will be fixing with blocking in this case, I am almost sure. And this yarn, in any case, this is also a frogged yarn, as you can see, from another project that again I didn't like. It wasn't socks, it was something else. It was pretty, but not pretty enough that I would wear it. So yeah, I just decided to frog it and to reuse the yarn for this. This is one of those patterns that I made from the top of my head. Rounded toe, and this is slipped stitches over garter stitch. Very simple, very easy. Also a mindless project. I needed something transportable because I think I mentioned it. Did I mention it at the beginning of the video that on the 19th of the month I started a new job and I have a little commute, so I wanted something portable, and this is it. Now it turns out that the commute is very, very short, so I don't have much time to knit on this, but yeah, I think I will be happy with them. I'm thinking also of switching from my DPNs. I normally use these wooden DPNs for my socks. I was thinking of buying those very short needles, cable needles that you can use for socks, because on the train maybe they will make it easier to work on these. So if you have thoughts on those tiny needles, please let me know what you think. I'm not so sure about them, you know. I like to have to feel the needles in my hands, and those really look like you have to hold them with your thumb and index finger, and I'm not sure if my hands will like it. So yeah, any advice on those is very welcome. And finally, I have another work in progress, something that I also started on a whim, just because I was like freaking out and not having enough projects going on. And it's this top that I showed on my Instagram. It's actually growing so fast. It's knitted on 3mm needles, so I expected it to go a little slower, but instead it's growing so fast because it's very, very, how do you say, it's cotton, but it's very, 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 it really moves fast on the needles. Even if I'm using wooden needles, they normally are not so fast. But this is really moving along very, very quickly. And it is, contrary to what I said before, it's not a 100% natural fiber. I see here, I can't find a percentage, but it's part cotton and part recycled, it's recycled cotton and part plastic bottle fiber. So even if it's not 100% natural, it seemed eco-friendly enough that I could buy it, and I really, really liked it. So I made an exception for this one. I know because I photographed this for my Instagram and people said, oh, it's gray. It's not gray. The camera picks it up as grayer than it is. I would say it's a grayish brown or beige, gray beige color, and it has specks of brighter colors in it. There's blue, there's green, there's some white in it, which makes it a little more interesting, and it's held together by a finer black thread. So yeah, it's the kind of melange thing that I like to work with. I think it's less boring, and yeah, it's an easy peasy V-neck top. I put some eyelets here where I made the increases. I don't think you can see them. Oh, how do I make them visible? Here they are more visible. But yeah, with blocking they will be more visible. Yeah, it's eyelet increases, and the back has this tailored shoulder, I think it's called, or English shoulder sometimes. I find this is a very flattering construction. It fits very nicely around the shoulder. I don't know yet what I want to do with the sleeves. I will certainly have to pick up stitches for some kind of finishing around the neck as well, especially to make the back of the neck stay flat, because it rolls quite a lot. But I haven't decided yet. This is a very improvised thing, so I haven't decided if I want to make yeah, like ribbing or an I-cord or whatever. The other thing I haven't decided yet is I will need to try it on soon. I got to this point, like 5 centimeters under the armhole opening, and I might put in some increases here to get like a bit of a bell shape. I wasn't sure because the yarn is not very long. It's only 200 meters in 50 grams, and I only have 3 balls of that. So I wasn't sure it would take me very far. That's why I chose a sleeveless thing, or potentially sleeveless. I could also make it like short sleeved top, but this is too this is one ball actually, one and a bit, one and a few rows. So yeah, it might take me further than I thought. And the fabric is not super dense, but it's also not super gapy. I think it's a good, yeah, for summer. I think this is just perfect. So it's not that it's giving me more because I'm using big needles or too big needles. We will see what this becomes in the end, or how it's yeah, what the finishing will look like. But yeah, I think it might be nice to have a bit, because it's very drapey. If I put in some increases, then it will flow nicely around my waist, and I think it could be a good choice. Those are the works in progress at the moment, but next week I think I will add in a new one with a new yarn that I bought this weekend. So technically, even if you're seeing this at the beginning of September, technically this is still an August purchase, because I bought it on the 31st, so very last day of the month. I was away for the weekend with my husband. We went to Antwerpen, a city in Belgium, that is not far from where we live. We just wanted a weekend away, and we thought, let's go somewhere near and somewhere nice. And Antwerp is super nice. It's highly recommended. We were there 2 sunny days. There was a relaxed, fun vibe. And of course, there's a lot of historic monuments. There's a lot of art painted by Rubens. There's a museum with the oldest print presses in the world, which is a UNESCO heritage site. So if you are into books, that's a fantastic place to visit. But yeah, there was also a yarn shop. There were multiple yarn shops, but there was one that was near our hotel, so I chose that one. And it's this shop. It's called Julia or Julia, I think. Yeah, the shop is, yeah, it was kind of a weird shop. It's as an L shape, so it has 2 windows on 2 different streets, so that can get confusing. They had quite a selection of yarns. They still had a lot of cotton that I didn't want to buy at this point. I wanted to buy something for the winter, because I'm thinking already about winter knits, and this is it. I got 3 of these at the top, and this one that has the same color as this water green here, or mint green here, and the other color is a bit more bluish, like sky blue. And of course, as you can see, it's a bouclè yarn. I wanted to buy this kind of yarn for a long time now, to make something with this kind of yarn for a long time. I've actually got something similar in my stash, but it's an ugly color. It's an ugly color. I'm not sure why I bought it. While this one is absolutely lovely, and somehow it's so 80s, right? And I was a teenager in the 80s, so it brings me back, both the color and the texture. It really brings me back to that time, and I think will be great fun to make something with this. I also have, it will be a cardigan because I have the perfect buttons for it that I'm going to dig out and show you in a second. Okay, so these are the buttons. They are ceramic buttons, handmade and custom made for me by a pottery artist who normally makes completely different things, but because she's my friend, she did it for me, and her link will be below in case you're interested in her work. She has these fantastic glazes. I particularly like this blue, and I think it will look gorgeous with my yarn. I tried these buttons on something else. I was making another cardigan that I thought would go well with the buttons, but then I wasn't happy with it, not 100%. So when I saw the yarn, I thought of the buttons, and And yeah, I think this will be a perfect match. So yeah, I'm going to swatch maybe already tonight, or maybe, well, this week definitely, and you'll probably see part of the cardigan in my next video, maybe all of it. I don't know. I expect to be able to use the yarn, to knit the yarn with fairly big needles, also because I don't think I will need a super dense fabric. It looks like a very warm yarn. So yeah, maybe 4 millimeters or even 4.5. So I think it will go very quickly. Right, that's it for this month. I hope you liked my work and you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or any suggestions, please let me know. I will be more than happy to talk to you, to get in touch. So bye for now. See you soon.